Well, now, just in case you've been living under the rock, we have a new kid in town, and this is called the Starlink. It's actually an internet service provider, and it's a global company owned by Elon Musk. I mean, I thought I should just explain to you what it is. Anyway, there is a thing that is going on with it in Kenya, and I found it like, hey, let me just go ahead and share this information with you so that you understand what exactly is going on. I mean, whenever the money is involved, I've come to here to share with you what exactly, where should you go, and what exactly is going on. See, there is a sort of a tiff between the Starlink and Safaricom as far as the internet provision is concerned in Kenya. Well, Safaricom, it's known that I don't know whether they actually went to court or they're about to do so, or should I use the term ranting? I don't know, maybe that's just a little bit rough. Maybe let's say they're complaining, hey, you know what? Oh, these guys should be regulated because they're internet service providers and we are, so I think they should, blah, 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 all those kind of things. Okay, they're feeling the heat. Why? Because Safaricom is, okay, if you're watching outside the country of Kenya, Safaricom is that telco company that offers services to do with communication, telco services, calling, blah, 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 all those kind. It's like a glowing, it's like an MTN, it's like a Vodafone or something, whatever it is, okay? So that is like the giant that we have here in Kenya, okay? Now, the thing is, it's the company that controls the giant market or the biggest market as far as the Kenyan market is concerned, okay? Now, the thing is, they're actually rubbing shoulders with the internet provider by the Elon Musk. Why? Because, well, it's really taking part, or rather it's taking a bigger share as far as the internet's provision. A lot of people, personally, I have not even four, almost six people that I know that I can simply call them and ask them, how is the thing? And they're telling me it is wow. Some people are saying, oh, wow, the download speed is okay, but the upload is a bit, blah, 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 and all those kind of things. But it is what it is. So now, the thing is this. One thing that you're supposed to understand, and maybe I'm using this example to explain to a thing called the business. You're supposed to know when to adjust and when to change. In Kenya, we have variety of options as far as the internet is concerned. We have the Safaricom for the cellular network. We have the the telco or the telecom, whatever. We have the cable internet, like for mine is cabled one, where it just come to my place and something of sort. Like nowadays, people are so much to, buying these other alternatives as far as the internet provision is concerned. We have also internet service provision in Kenya. It's actually a big company that people are making money. By the way, I was talking to some of the guys, they're telling me they're making huge chunk of cash, and I'm assuming the KRA is not listening, by the way, if you see KRA around here. Now, the thing is, it's a business on its own. So Safaricom are actually feeling the heat. Now, the issue is this. Whenever you bring something in town, you're supposed to understand. It's either be affordable or, let's argue in this way. That thing either be affordable, can be affordable, a lot of people can afford it, or it's the same price, but it's actually offering a better services compared to that what we have in town and all those kind of things. So let's just dissect between the Safaricom, let's say the Safaricom, and I say here we say the Starlink. So where should you go with, or which one is better for you? See, when we draw a simple line between those two companies, Safaricom, obviously, for example, for you to buy a kit for the Starlink, it goes for around 45,000, but I understand there's somewhere you can get it at 35,000. Let me just put an average price of 45,000. This is basically like $450 something. Yeah, $450. That's what you need to buy the kit. And then here, when it comes to the Safaricom, they actually give you that router for free, and then installation, I think it's free. And then here, let's call it free. All right. But back then they used to charge, but nowadays they are kind of, lenient. But let me say they ask you for just around like 5,000 for installation. This one is buying the kit. If you install it by yourself, of course, you don't charge anything. But if you get them to install for you, they charge you like 10,000. And this is not actually them charging you that. It's that company that is actually, you buy from you tell them to install, of which you can actually do by yourself. I mean, you don't need anybody to install it for you. These things you can get them on the YouTube. The other thing, you actually find what we call the monthly subscription. We have the lowest package in Starlink, which is going for 1,300 per month. This is like 1,300 is like $120, $120. No, not $120, but $13 rather, $13 per month. That gives you 50. We call them GB. I don't know whether they are gigabytes or gigabytes or whatever the thing. It's 50 GB, meaning it's limited. It is limited, okay? And we come to the Safaricom side, they are charging you 3,000, and they're giving you unlimited, okay? They're giving you unlimited. But the other packages of Safaricom that you find that they are a bit expensive compared to this package. But now, where I find a bit shortcoming on the Starlink is that personally I may not go for this package. Why? 50 GB is not enough for me. Well, being a content creator, obviously I need quite of a huge internet for me to go ahead and be able to upload my videos, be on the internet every time, having seminars, conferences, you know, going live and what have you. So 50 GB actually might actually finish even in a week. So not even a week, by the couple of like 5 days I'm done. So I really need something to do with what? The unlimited one. So now when it comes to the Safaricom, in terms of the affordability, as of now, affordability, these people are winning. That's for sure. But this one is actually coming in. But remember one thing, this price of 45,000 for the tool or that kit of the Starlink actually started at around 95,000, okay, 95,000 Kenyan shillings. So basically it's like a half of what, and there's speculation that this price is actually going down because this is what they're actually segmenting their market. You know, there's something called the market segmentation. They're actually segmenting their market because not everyone can afford this amount of money, you know, to go ahead and install that particular thing and what have you. So basically I would say not everyone can afford that. So of course there is segmentation of the market. So that's why in terms of the affordability, you know, this one is actually winning as far as the Safaricom is concerned. So for me, I don't see any reason why Safaricom should actually be, you know, what we call, you know, should actually panic. Although if I was Safaricom, obviously I would be at a panic mode because anything can happen. If they bring this kit up to, can you imagine this? If Starlink today decides to install for that specific thing, if they tell you buying that or getting that a particular kit is, let me not say free because anyway it costs money to make those kits. Let me say they bring that kit to around 5,000. 5,000, you know, installation fee, or they bring it at par with what the Safaricom would ask you to install that internet for you. What do you think would happen? Boom. And you can just imagine this with this Starlink thing, you don't need to have, I don't know, wire connections, I don't know, nothing. You can even move with it from wherever you want. You get what I'm saying? If you are using this, you know, if you are a traveler, I'm not saying that you can carry all that thing, but whatever. You get what I'm saying? You can even use that Starlink even you are in the, you know, the most remote place on earth. You can actually access the internet. So most of the people will tend to go with this particular package. So therefore, in terms of affordability, as we speak, and of course I'm making this video at around August of 2024, the Safaricom one is actually offering a better option. But one thing that you're supposed to do in business using this concept of the Safaricom and Starlink is that you're supposed to actually stay on put. You're supposed to always be on look. What is happening? How is that market that you're adding transforming and all those kind of things? Because newer things come and the older ones, if you do not adjust and move the time, you get phased off or phased out, and then you are not in the market. So basically what is happening is that Safaricom is trying to twist the existence of the Starlink in Kenya using the government way or the law way to kind of for me, I don't find it. I think it's just a simple game here and there, and it's so good for the consumers because when we have variety of options, they actually up their game. They offer good services, and all of a sudden, I don't know what happens. The internet becomes a bit more affordable and such kind of a thing. So what I would say, we consumers, we should be celebrating, and we should be saying, hey, you know what? Let them bring it to levels of where we can afford both of them, and someone can actually pick, especially in Kenya. Especially in Kenya. By the way, I don't know whether even the government watches my videos. If there's anyone who is from the government, what I would say, Kenya is a developing nation. We have a lot of people who are working remotely. We have a lot of people who are working online. We have a lot of people who are actually relying on the internet and what have you to get their daily bread. So I wouldn't suggest the government to actually cut legs or limit people. Let them have variety of options, you know, where they can pick from, because we really need this thing like yesterday. We need the most affordable internet. As much as I know Kenya already as we speak has one of the most, you know, highest speed in terms of the internet and also affordable one, but we need variety of options that you can pick from. We need options that you are not limited to one thing because we are a developing nation. Okay, another thing for Kenyans can actually tell, there is a body that supplies electricity in Kenya called the KPLC, you know, Kenya Power and Lighting Company. It's the only company that actually supplies Kenya, you know, supplies electricity here in Kenya. We really don't have a problem with electricity here. We don't have the black blackouts here and on and off, sometimes like prolonged one, like the South Africa or the Nigeria. With all the due respect to those countries, I love them. But we still feel like we should have competitors or competitive. Like you can choose, I don't want KPLC, maybe I need something else, maybe I need something else. That way, because these people are known to be arrogant, they are known to can just, maybe let's say there is a glitch or fault of maybe say a transformer, they take a whole time before they show up to, repair that specific thing. So same thing happens to this Starlink, well, I understand. Also, there are people who are called the ISPs, the internet service providers here in Kenya, and they are in business. They are feeling the heat of also the presence of the Starlink, coming here in Kenya. So let me just say, let's find a way of how we can balance all of us, so that we are all in business. The guys who are making money, and at the same time, at least they're not being manipulated. They're getting value for their money, and that way we can actually be like, you know what? We are actually at a better state. So I actually brought this on board on this video just to explain to you there is that war that is going on as far as the Safaricom and the Starlink is concerned. So we don't know to what extent this war will go and what will be the outcome of this. I hope the government of Kenya won't do what they did on the solar panels. For those who have been in Kenya for a long time, they understand. Back then, you having a solar panels in your home used to be perceived as if you are broke, you don't have money, you are suffering, and what have you, until people realize, wow, it's actually a better option or an alternative compared to me having or being on the grid. And people actually got themselves into purchasing the solar. The governments were like, what? I think we are losing the revenue here. Then they had to do some other, tax increment on the solar, products, the batteries, and okay, nowadays actually installing a solar, it's quite expensive. It has now been reverted to a situation whereby if you're installing it, yeah, you're regarded as you're doing good as far as the finances are concerned. So let's not shoot our foot by actually discouraging this company. After all, we need because if these guys shows up in Kenya, you never know. If they find it easier to penetrate in our Kenyan market, you never know what other options this guy can actually bring. Remember, this guy has a lot of satellites in the in the space and what have you. He can actually bring other job opportunities. And you are looking for what we call the FDI, the foreign direct investments. Let's just view it from that perspective, and maybe if I was to advise the government, I would say, okay, fine. We won't do what your competitor Safaricom is asking us, but you know what? Let's agree. This is the amount of money you'll be paying as a tax, and let's agree. How about you have some of your production companies here in Kenya? If you want to have a big market of us here, just bring some of your production here in Kenya. After all, we don't have any Tesla company in Africa. But I stand corrected if we have any. So why don't we have just find a way of negotiating yourself in between so that all of you can win. They need you, you need them, we need everyone, and we move to the next level. That's that's what I would say if I was the president. Yeah, that is it. Anyway, guys, that's good, Joseph. That's my submission. And for now, it's a goodbye. But don't forget, invest, save, do what we call the delayed gratification, channel your money to appropriate places, and that way we can do something not only for our pockets but globally we can do something. Nice, a goodbye, and see you in the next one.